And first, let me say that your CV is rich, and you have been at the heart of running commissions, including IEBC, especially operations. And you had also talked of mistrust. And in answer to Ambassador Koki, you had started to say that we need to demystify the server. Can you continue? How do we demystify the server?
Yeah, thanks very much. I talked about the server because it's been an issue of contention in the presidential election. Severally, actually, you find the stakeholders coming forth and saying, they even say, fungua server. You know, we want to see what is in that server. What is it that we do not agree with that we want to confirm? And one of the issues here is to basically demystify it to Kenyans. And what I meant to answer at the time to Ambassador through the chair is this being the area of contention, actually not just the server itself, but result transmission. Is it possible for us to have a pathway? You know, so as a commission, then I'll be very interested for us to sit together as a collegiate and just demystify this pathway. So just the way Wanjiko, if I can just use that, Wanjiko can speak to the pathway of electoral transmission results, in the same way Prof will speak to the pathway of transmission results. So there is a bit of mystery, and I think it's something that needs to be unpackaged through a lot of demonstrations, through a lot of physical meetings. Now we even have virtual meetings. We can have webinars where we demonstrate what it is. We can meet with the corporate sector. We can meet with the Mama Mboga. We can meet with students in colleges and universities and just demystify this. And above all, we can actually meet with those candidates who are contending for the positions, because those are really the ones who mainly, whose supporters mainly rally this call for this server must be opened. And I just want to say that in 2022, even from the monitoring that we did, the server through the portal was accessible to Kenyans. Indeed, that election progressively really was improved. And people would walk into the, or rather log into the portal and be able to see the various Form 34As. All of them were in that server, which is called the IEBC portal, and therefore making it very transparent. So you can go in, collect what you see in the server, and plus what your agents had in the stations, and indeed, they tally, and trust is restored.
I know you are not an IT expert, but what do you say to those IT experts who say the portal and the server are not one and the same? Because banks have servers, companies have servers, there's a way in which they go in those servers. What do you say to those who are saying that portal is not the same as the server, you having been an operations person?
Yeah, I wouldn't agree with them, because that portal is reflecting exactly what is in the server. The server being a sacrosanct device really is something that then is, I could say, protected in a way because of its sensitivity, but does not mean it's not accessible, right? But what is in that server and the portal, the results really read.
So why don't you just let them have see the server instead of the portal?
I would say this: the server being the physical device. Political parties have been accessed to it. Political party candidates as well have been accessed to it. And I think looking at the premium and value of this, what we call the server, and which I say here is synonymous to what you have in the portal in terms of the result transmission. In the judgment, in the ruling of 2022, the Supreme Court pronounced itself to restricted access in order, again, the way it was phrased in the ruling, in order to not invite suspicion. Because everybody going in, there would be, again, a lot of suspicion which is being arisen.
If you leave the Supreme Court ruling aside, Betty Sungura, having said here that she wants the server demystifying? Can the Commission take a proactive role in its regulations? Because you said this server is sacrosanct.
Yes, it is.
But this server belongs to Kenyans who are voting. And in your own words, you said the challenge has always been that what was got at the polling station, is it really what is being verified?
Yes.
And the only gadget or instrument that can have a finality to it is the server. If political stakeholders came and say, as you have correctly said, that this is where our mistrust comes, would political stakeholders and the IEBC, before the election is conducted, agree on the modalities, the pathways of using the server as the verification tool for what came from the polling station?
Yes, I would agree with you, Professor, through the chair, that indeed having even a multi-stakeholder forum, including the candidates, including the register of political parties, where there could be a sitting, and not just one forum, but several, where people are able to go through what it is, what the server is, what the elections pathway, result transmission pathway, what are the new infusions, because technology keeps changing. And if, say, there is any new introduction into the technology that will be procured, if there is procurement, then can they all be on the same page? That would be very important. And because there's a lot of mistrust and demystification around this server issue, it will be very critical to even have it tied in law, in a regulation. The regulation here says that these people can sit at this time, just into the election, during the election, and even post-election, and be able to verify the results and the result transmission system through the server.
Thank you very much. My last question. Elections often attract political and public pressure. How will you ensure that your decisions are guided by the Constitution and not by political influence or personal bias?
First and foremost, it is true there is political pressure, having served in IEBC, but I want to say that one of the safeguards is to have the ethical leadership trainings given to the commissioners and even to the staff, as well as ascribing to the code of conduct and knowing that we are here to serve guided by the rule of law. And therefore, regular governance as well as ethical trainings, and as well as ascribing to charters which then dictate the independence that we should behold in order to deliver the mandate given unto us by the Constitution would be very, very critical.
Thank you, Chair.
Betty, a few questions from me.